First is Jacqi Dill, if you'd please come up to the mic.
My name is Jacqi Dill. I'm a Ward 3 taxpayer who lives in the Guy-Knoll Addition. I am the president and director of the Seminole Arts Council also. I'm here to discuss my concerns about the proposed ballot items on January 10th. The two items are to extend a 1-cent sales tax and to reallocate a 4% hotel tax from the Tourism Council to the city's management. It is my understanding that the 1-cent sales tax generates $1.6 million a year, and the hotel motel tax generates $60,000. The city already has full control over the sales tax revenue, but is seeking to reallocate the hotel tax as a plan B just in case they need it for operations of the fund center, the proposed family fund center. The proposed family fund center has a price tag of $8.2 million, and that math is not working for me. There are several things about this issue that concern me outside of the math itself, and I hope to address most of them today and bring about some voter awareness also. The tourism tax was established in 1997, and the Tourism Council was founded the same year as an oversight committee to make sure that the funds are used for events and projects that promote tourism in Seminole. Throughout the years since 1997, the city and other city-related entities have gone to Tourism Council to request funding. These entities have included the City of Seminole, the Wellness Center, SEDC, the Jimmy Austin Golf Course, the Seminole Communities Foundation, which I recently realized is not with the city, and more. Typically, all the proposals work on a reimbursement basis, and the money distributed doesn't go straight to the organization without them providing proof that they spent the money where they said they would. I don't understand why the proposed Family Fund Center cannot request funding as every other entity has in the past. It seems that the preferred route would be to entirely remove the $60,000 from the Tourism Council, a council which serves as an oversight committee for spending of these monies. So again, this makes me wonder why reallocating the tax is going to a vote in January when the systems we have in place are currently working. If the system is not broken, why are we trying to fix it? Throughout the years, the Tourism Council has invested these funds in numerous projects spanning several organizations, including grassroots community organizations like the Seminole Arts Council. Our fear with moving these funds to city management is that the Arts Council events and other organizations requesting funding will either not be heard in a timely manner, won't qualify for funding due to prioritization by City Council, or won't be heard at all if the entire budget is used on the proposed Family Fund Center or on city maintenance projects. The Tourism Council invests in many things. These things have included the Independence Day celebration, the Made in Oklahoma Festival, the Oklahoma Rural Elementary Schools basketball and softball programs, the Little River Tournament, kids soccer tournaments, Snowman Wonderland, Seminole Youth Football, Seminole Softball Association, the Jazz Moran Children's Museum, the Territory Tellers, Farmers Markets, Leadership Oklahoma, Seminole Booster Club, a mountain biking race called Tour de Dirt, the Seminole State College and the Arts Council Second Saturdays, and more. The uncertainty of what will become of the tourism funds and the Tourism Council after January 10th puts funding at risk for all these groups and other groups that were not mentioned. Let's talk about where that money goes once it's given to these groups. As for the Arts Council, all of the funds that we personally receive from tourism support our local paper and radio station. All of the funds we've received from tourism were direct reimbursements for local advertising. I know we are not the only group who requests funds for this reason. Is there any concern for the livelihood of our local paper or radio station if tourism funding was no longer available for groups to advertise their projects in Seminole? How will these groups and their events be directly affected by not having funds available for advertising? It will significantly decrease event attendance and/or financially hurt the groups. The Arts Council currently has 2 open RFPs, which are requests for funding proposals, which we hope to be reimbursed for in February to March sometime. The reimbursement process takes about 90 days, and if this vote passes in January, will we still receive those reimbursements for these approved RFPs, or will we have to eat the $2,500 that was stated to be reimbursed by the Tourism Council? Again, we don't know. No one seems to know, yet we're expected to vote on this on January 10th. I attended a Tourism Council meeting on November 29th, which took place after the story was ran in the paper, and the majority of people who served on that council seemed confused and upset because they did not learn about this proposed vote until they read it in the paper. There were several questions regarding the future of the Tourism Council, like will they need to meet again if the vote passes? Will there be a future for the Tourism Council? Will the City Council be the decider of who gets funding moving forward? How will that affect City Council with timeliness? None of these questions were answered with any certainty, and the city manager, mayor responded with, "We haven't discussed that." It seems at this point, with less than a month away from voting on the matter, there is no guarantee that this will pay for a new fun center. The city currently struggles maintaining what recreational facilities we currently have. The splash pad, the wellness center, the softball quad fields, the bathrooms are in disrepair there. Our community pool has been closed for years. Our parks have suffered water main breaks daily, and not to mention the rest of our city that seems to be crumbling down around us. We still have not seen the Expo rodeo grounds that SCDC bought land for over 4 years ago. With that, how can we trust that the city will keep up with the Family Fun Center, or for how long? And if it is a family fun center, why are there plans to serve alcohol at the facility? I've visited a few bowling alleys that serve beer and or liquor, and I have seen people fighting to the point of bloodshed in these so-called family spaces. Serving alcohol not only takes away from the family aspect, but it also directly competes with other businesses in town who do serve and sell alcohol in settings where it's more appropriate. To me, it's always seemed like City Council hasn't cared enough about the sense of community here. The support has always been underwhelming, and the lack of community here has directly contributed to the deterioration of our downtown area and our city as a whole. The backdoor approach to this issue has concreted this belief for me. I feel like the City Council has been repeatedly misled by our city management, and despite some of you feeling the same way, you still do nothing to stop it or work against it. In addition to the uncertainty of funding for our community and tourism events and projects, there seems to be an ethical conflict of interest within the city in the Family Fun Center project. It is my understanding that this project was led by the Seminole Youth Council, which is directed by a city employee who is under direction of city management. There's also several people who work for the city, are a part of city leadership, or are a part of this council who have direct relation to specific students who were part of the youth council. These relations heavily influence the decisions made regarding the Fun Center project, and in any other government setting, this issue would be considered unethical or a conflict of interest. There was no attempt to incentivize a private entity to operate the Fun Center and make it profitable, which was confirmed by Mr. Saxon in the November 29th Tourism Council meeting. Our city intends to own and operate this facility at taxpayer expense. No one will argue that our city would benefit from a privately owned and operated family fun center / bowling alley. Not one person, including myself. I want you guys to know that. I want a family fun center. Absolutely. I think it would be a great addition to our city and our community. I do not think the city is funding it in an appropriate manner, and I believe they are rushing the results and wearing blinders to how this will play out. There seems to be no peripheral foresight to how this will affect anyone outside of who it directly benefits from the fun center being built. There is not enough planning involved in this decision to put it to a vote, but here we are anyway. I'll close my comments with this. The taxpayers in Seminole want to see more proactive leadership and less reactive leadership. Currently, our city tends to react or respond to issues as they arise, but we need leadership that will anticipate needs or challenges so that our city is prepared to overcome them. We need you all to look at a broader picture and find another way to fund this Family Fun Center. If Seminole votes no on January 10th, which I hope they do, I hope you will reapproach this issue thoughtfully and leave the Tourism Council intact with their $60,000 a year to promote tourism in our community. If that amount increases, which everyone anticipates with the new hotels being built, that money should still go to the Tourism Council, and the Family Fun Center should request funding just like everyone else. Thank you.
Our next guest is Amber Carter. Amber, if you would come up and.
She signed up just in case.
Okay. All right.
But ditto, absolutely, 100%.
Then is it Miranda? Is it Cotton?
Yes. I signed up for the same right here.
Okay. Thank you.
A lot of things. Jackie said it all.
With that, we'll move on
For the
to
rest of the taxpayers.
presentations. We have a PowerPoint presentation by Sharon Emmett regarding city grants.
Yeah, ask the table.
Okay. We will table that. With that, we'll move on to approvals and acceptances. Bids, item 1, consideration and possible action to approve the low bid of $22,720 from Electric Service Company, Inc. for the removal of 32 damaged light poles at the softball complex to be funded with insurance proceeds from the May 2022 tornado.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 2, consideration and possible action to approve the low bid of $42,000 from OT Truck and Tractor Sales LLC for a 2007 Chevrolet bucket truck to replace the city's 1997 truck that no longer meets safety standards, a budgeted capital improvement project item.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 3, consideration and possible action to approve the low bid of $118,980 from Merit Tennis and Track Systems for renovation of the Highland and Boomtown tennis courts, a joint project with Seminole Public Schools. The city-approved capital improvement project share is $91,000, with Seminole Public Schools funding the balance of $27,980.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 4, consideration and possible action to approve declaring a surplus and soliciting bids for the following public works vehicles. 1977 Chevy winch truck, VIN number 1738, 1997 Ford one-ton truck, VIN number 1363, and a 2006 Chevy truck, VIN number 8552.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 5, consideration and possible action to approve declaring a surplus and soliciting bids for the following fire department vehicles. The 2010 Ford E350 Ambulance Rescue 4 and 2013 Ford E350 Ambulance Rescue 5.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under current business, consideration and possible action to approve payment of $72,000 to Bison Construction Services for emergency roof repairs to city facilities after the May 2022 tornado to be funded with insurance proceeds.
Move to approve. Yeah. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Corey Crabtree.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Trace Connor.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Eddie Foreman.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 7, consideration and possible action to approve construction of an area for collection of used tires